this is kind of the thing where National Weather Person's Day, and this is, again, we're talking with Dave Dombeck and Danielle Niddle from AccuWeather, two of my great colleagues. And one of the things I'd like us to communicate, and I'll let Danielle go first, is what was the spark to get you into weather, and what was the spark to get you into this field growing up as you were thinking about it?
So a lot of fellow meteorologists who are my age or so, when you ask that question, they'll reference the blizzard of 96 in January of 96 or so as what kind of brought about that interest in weather at that young age. And that would have put me at about second grade. For me, it came a couple of years later, actually during the summer of 1998. And my family and I, we go on a vacation every year down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That was our fourth year doing it at that point. And that year down there was the first time we were affected by a tropical system. We had Hurricane Bonnie heading toward the Carolina coastline. And unfortunately, the path it was taking, they went and they declared an evacuation for all visitors. So we were actually out playing miniature golf that afternoon, and we leave the course and we just see this line of traffic going the other direction. We're like, well, this isn't good. They said something while we were out there, and we got back to the hotel. We found out we had to leave. Now, at this point, I actually was terrified of anything storm related, thunderstorms, right. Anything with that. I just freaked. So I was glued to the TV, afraid of what was going on when the storm wasn't anywhere close yet. But after that, and after the evacuation, we came back, I just kind of started to just stay glued to the TV and watching the weather. And I wouldn't stop watching even when it was quiet. And then the fascination for it just kind of grew from there.
Dave, anything from you specifically? I think you may tend more to me, where it's not necessarily an event, but it's more about lifestyle and interest in nature and all that kind of stuff, and helped you lead to that. But maybe it is an event that triggered you.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, I think the thing that we all have in common, and most meteorologists that are forecasters, were weather weenies. Depending on where you are in the country, whether you want to call them weather geeks, weather weenies, weather freaks, whatever. We just love the weather, and that's and it's hard to explain. That it's when you try to tell your family, your friends, whatever, they don't get it. Like they look at you like you have a third eye or something. It's and I say it's like it's either an extra chromosome or a missing gene or something defect in there. But we're all the weather weenies. We love the weather, and for me, I was always the curious George. Right. I was always wondering like the why, things really, like as a little kid, I'm talking, second, third grade, fourth grade, I'd look at the thermometer and I'd see it was 28 degrees and it's raining and there's icicles there. It was like, why isn't it snowing?
Right.
Or over and over and over and over again, where we lived in Dallas, we just lived in a ripoff area for air mass thunderstorms. And we would just sometimes you would hear the light, you hear the thunder, you see the light, you could actually smell the rain. It was so close, and we would miss them. We would miss thunderstorms over. It's like, why? Why is it like pouring a mile down the road and we're not getting it? So with me, it was like that curiosity of the why. And I guess the two things that I really loved as a little kid, and eventually it got to be the hurricanes and tropical weather as well. But it was the thunderstorms and the snow, especially. I started keeping a record of snowfall. And I believe it was fourth grade. I started keeping that, and I kept that every year through elementary school, through junior high, and into high school. Every time it would snow, mark it down, measure it, mark it down, tally it up for the season. I kept that going, and any records like super cold, super warm, hot records in that, I kept that. And so I kept things going at home. And I remember when I went to Penn State as a freshman. And my next youngest brother, I told, his name is Mark. I said, Mark, and I gave him instructions. I said, when it snows, don't wait too long. Go out and measure. He got a couple, and then he missed a couple. He missed a couple of storms. I was so mad. I was ready to kill him. I was ready to deck him. And it's like, then I had to just like chill out, and I had to say, he doesn't have the passion and I had to just let it go.
Right.
But I was
he didn't
so
get
mad
that
at my
gene
brother.
defect that you got, right? He didn't have the gene defect that you got.
Yeah.
To listen to the full episode, just click the links below. And never miss a podcast by subscribing to Everything Under the Sun on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. New episodes every Friday.